All
My,
right.
my next guest describes himself as a little bit spoiled. He grew up in an upper middle class family in Tehran, Iran's capital city. Being the kind of person who wanted to carve his own path, he decided when he was 17 to move to Dallas, Texas. He knew 3 words of English. His first job was a cart attendant at Target, very prestigious. He later worked his way up to marketing innovation specialist, event coordinator at a major Dallas firm. Now, back in Tehran, and thanks to COVID-19 lockdown, he has nothing better to do than to entertain his friend Meredith. And he's going to share his experiences comparing and contrasting the cultures of Tehran to Dallas. Entrepreneur, boundary pusher, citizen of the world, Sohrab Tavakoli, everyone.
Wow, that was a lot. Thank you. That's the
Yeah,
best introduction I've ever had.
yeah, good. I think
For
you should
sure.
put it on like your resume or something.
I know.
So it's
It's put in
what
my
made you
resume. That's awesome.
decide to move to the US and like how did you even pick Dallas, Texas? That's so specific.
Well, since I was being spoiled a little bit, and then I failed chemistry 1, 2, and 3 in high school, and my mom like teaches like chemistry to the nanotechnology students, to PhD students. So I was like, why am I failing this? So I need to do something on my own. So that's why I decided to just get away from everybody and just start living on my own. And Dallas was the area that I knew somebody, so I went there, and that was it. Dallas was it. Dallas was the destination.
Ah, okay. So is 17 years old here in the US is you're considered still a minor. Is that different
Yes.
in Tehran?
No, in like, well, technically, 18-year-old is an adult here, but I mean, like in Iran, since they're not that many rules and regulations. We drive at age 12. you know,
Oh, okay.
but who cares?
I'll remember that
But
if I ever visit and and I need to go somewhere.
yeah, yeah. But yes, I was still a minor when I moved to Dallas.
So it was like part rebellion, part ambition, kind of.
Yes, I was gonna go wild and crazy. I was like, no rules, no boundaries. I'm just gonna go wild and crazy.
And you said you knew 3 words of English. What were the 3 words?
Yes, I know. I'd say hello, how are you, and water. Water was the last word my mom taught me in the airport. Since I was so thirsty, I was like, Mom, I'm thirsty. Give me some water. She was like, yeah, give me some water. By the way, it's water. When you get thirsty, say water. And she wrote it on my hand, and my hand was sweating so much. That's gone in like 30 minutes. But
Oh,
I learned it.
but you learned it, and you learned all. How did
I
you learn
learned it
English?
in a hard way, basically. I had to like read books, and back then we didn't have the smartphone with the technology of the like the translation, apps. So I had to go to the old school books. Just when I would see a sentence, I would just go in the dictionary, the word by word, find it, you write it on top of the word, and then try to make sense out of it.
Oh,
And then I took some English classes, and that was it. Yeah, it was hard, but I had to do it. It
yeah,
was
that would
interesting.
be so hard.
It was a big challenge.
I still don't know English if it makes you feel better, so.
I don't know English either. I'm just trying to say something. That's all of that.
So when you came here, did it feel like culture shock, or did you know enough about American culture already that it was exactly what you thought it would be?
Oh, it was definitely different. I mean, since I came from Tehran, and Tehran is a big, massive city, right? I did ask a few questions, research a little bit. We didn't have internet back then, so I couldn't just like Google it. So I asked around and researched a little bit. But when I came to Dallas, the biggest difference was everything was far apart. I mean, you have to have a car to get around, and the public transportation was just so horrible. In Iran, you just walk around and get a taxi, get a bus, and then you're there. But in Dallas, everything's far apart. You have to have a car, otherwise you're just handicapped, basically. Mhm.
Yeah, so it's planning where you're going to go and at what time without a car, it's an event.
Oh, it's massive, the travel. It's a big project to just go whatever you want, yeah.
It's so true. And once you learned English, though, you probably got more, American friends and were able to learn what the differences were about, their culture versus the culture that you grew up in.
It took me a while, yes. It took me a while to just learn the culture, but since I was started as a car attendant and I didn't have a car to get around, so I had to walk between Target and my apartment, my friend's apartment, and it was like a couple of hours walk each way.
Oh my gosh.
And then after a few weeks, couple of months, I learned a little bit English, and I wrote a letter to my manager. Hey, I want to work as a cashier. Promote me so I can learn the culture and learn a little bit more English. And the letter, he gave it back to me, and that I wrote for him. I had so many grammar and vocabulary problems, mistakes, and it was funny, but it happened.
Did you keep the letter?
Yeah, that's what it turned. Oh, I still have it. Yes.
Good. Oh man, that's awesome. A lot of people that are outside of the U.S. say that Americans are very smiley and hi, how are you? And that some people really like that. Some people find it insincere. What was your impression about that part of American culture?
I really loved it. I really enjoyed it. I like people trying to be nice and open and just have a good smiling face. Even though if it's not insincere, it's still something positive to show. Mm-hmm. If they're faking it, well done. Good job that you're faking it. If it's been real, outstanding.
Yeah.
Both ways work.
Yeah, exactly. Once you were a cashier and started talking with more people in English, what were some other big differences that you started to kind of uncover culturally between Dallas and people in Tehran?
A lot of people in Dallas, when they talk to you, they're friendly, but when they have something some sort of business to deal with you, after that, it's distance, It's they get closed up. They don't want to talk. They don't want to hang out. They don't want to, do anything, which it was a culture shock because in Iran, in Tehran, we're so friendly, even if you don't know each other that much, you're hey, come here, let's have some tea, whatever, That was a big shock because I wanted to be more friendly. I see somebody's coming to me and smiling and wanting to talk something. Oh, I have friends. But that was just for small little time. That we're doing business together.
So sometimes those niceties, they're for that purpose only, and they don't. I can see where that would be confusing. Oh, we're gonna start a friendship and hang out, and then they're okay, business deal's over, meeting is over, it's 5:00, we're leaving work, bye.
And that's it. And bye. Yes, exactly. Yeah. At work, we hang out because we have breakfast meeting, after our meeting. And if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't hang out that much, If we were together for a few hundred people, we would be 2-3 people, at the end to hang out with at the most,
And speaking of work culture, what were some differences that you saw in an office culture and in work ethic, all of that? What were some things that came up?
Well, it's really, really good because in US, everybody is employed, most people are employed, and their guidelines. You go by these, you go by these rules. They're a huge chain of command. Talk to my manager, and then I'll talk to my manager, and so on and so forth. But in Iran, it's just businesses because they're local businesses. So many local businesses because the government doesn't support that much employees and the companies as much. So people themselves have to figure out a way to do business together or make money. So There is no guidelines. There are no chain of command. They're just people trying to figure something out, which is good and bad. It's bad because the work won't get done. It gets done. It takes way, way longer to be take care of. But there is more a connection with people. You try to figure something out. But it was funny because long time ago, so when I say guidelines, long time ago I was going to a burger joint, Fuddruckers, and I wanted to get a burger, right? And then, so I was like, you know what's good on this burger? Some mushrooms. And I asked the cashier, hey, can you add some mushrooms? She was like, if you want to add some mushrooms, we have that burger that has mushrooms in it. I'm like, no, I want this burger, but add mushrooms. She was like, there is no button for it. I'm like, what do you mean there's no button for it? Figure out. I'll give you money. How much it costs? $5 here it is. I want some mushroom on this burger. I can't do it,
Oh my God.
I mean, that's a little bit different, because they followed, it's good and bad. They follow these rules, but I can't get my mushroom.
I want to make a t-shirt or something that says, there's no button for the mushroom.
There's no button for the mushroom.
Or where is the mushroom button? I'm not sure. I think
awesome. Right?
there's definitely an opportunity there.
Where's the button for the mushroom?
Yeah. It's such representative of a mindset though, the industrial revolution in the United States really is to credit or to blame, depending on how you look at it, for that attitude. Because before that, people did what you're describing in Tehran. You just you are bootstrapping it. You figure it out. You make it. If it's broken, you fix it. You barter.
Right.
And it's going to be interesting now with COVID-19 how much we'll go back to some of that stuff, right? We're all DIYing things, and but when the Industrial Revolution came,
it does make it much easier though. It does make it faster. When there's a guideline, when there is everything's easy. Make it simple for everybody to just get it and go. So it is a positive thing, but also it has this negative thing, for them trying to figure out, and you will lose that sense of trying to figure something out.
Yeah, you lose that critical thinking piece.
Exactly.
It's kind of like when you use your GPS to get places all the time, and then you realize you definitely don't know how to read a map, but you also have no sense of direction either. And it's that part of your brain that gives you that drive, not just the push button mentality. But like you said, it does make it more efficient, which is it's funny that you use a burger example, because it was McDonald's, the franchise, that had so much to do with that process of push the button down the line, here's the bun, da-da-da, and then it's
follow this, yes.
You get your food in 2 minutes.
We are becoming more followers, than leaders, right? So there are more followers than leaders, and the difference is for them to try to figure it out. It's easy to follow, it's hard to be leader. Maybe that's it. I don't know.
Yeah, there's definitely that too. What about travel? The U.S. is obviously really big, and I know just from being your personal friend that you love to travel and see things all over. What was the attitude towards travel from your family in Tehran versus the people that you met while you were in Dallas?
This is the area that it's a big question to me, right? U.S. by far is, I'm going to say, it's number one country in the world, no doubt. Economy-wise, equipment, easy to get around, opportunities, right? By far. But to me, it feels like U.S. is a huge, big, massive luxury jail.
Luxury jail.
You have luxury jail. You have everything in it. Everything. People, money-wise, economy-wise, they make more money than anybody around the world, and they have more opportunity. They have more items, equipment, faster internet, but yet they travel the least. they spend on the newer phone. I want to get better car. I mean, my lease is getting over, so I want to get another car. And they lose that sense of traveling and learning the other culture, just being exposed to the other culture, and like, and another thing is with American citizen, having the American passport, it's like you have the master key to entire world. You are welcome. You don't need to get a visa. So many people don't even know visa to get in the country.
Oh yeah, you should probably explain that. Yeah, explain that, because I think you're correct. I didn't know until I started traveling. I was like, visa? What's a visa?
Exactly. But like in the world, 99% of countries, 90% of the countries, they need to get a visa to get around, right? Especially to come to US. It's not just easy. But Americans, they don't need. With a passport, just go get a ticket and fly, And getting a visa, it's a huge process, right? You have to be accepted, yada, yada, yada. But you are already accepted. You're already approved as a person, as an American citizen. So it's so easy to just, get a ticket and go. And since a lot of people complain about the economy, that with Americans have the best economy and they can make the more money. And they still have the credits. They can get a credit card. So they're like, okay, if you can't pay it right now, we'll pay for it, but you pay in payments, right? Which it's a tool. It just depends how you're using it, right? If you use it with responsibility, it's the best tool ever. You can do whatever you want, but figure out how to pay them back. Just don't think it's your money. It's borrowed money. Mm-hmm. And then you can just travel, get a ticket. The credit cards say, hey, don't pay me, there's no interest for 2 years. Mm-hmm. Hallelujah. That's great. A lot of countries, they have debit cards. You have to pay exactly what you got. Mm-hmm. There's no credit. So I feel like when they say America is a land of opportunity, it is a land of opportunity, but it hurts me when I see people don't use it. Mm-hmm. Why do you think everybody wants to come to America? Because they've got opportunities, they can start from zero, they can grow up and be whoever they want to be. American dream, right? Mm-hmm. It's there, but they just don't see it because they're in it, Yeah. So they think this is the standards.
That's so true. And so that's what you mean by luxurious jail, is because we're already in it, we can only see from that perspective, and we are so comfortable that we we're missing out basically on the joy that comes from traveling and meeting people and being with the person you're traveling, or traveling alone and having an adventure, because we're so pacified by our comfort, whether that's material or whatever. Right. It's just that we're in our routine, like you said. Okay, my lease is up on my car, gotta get a new car. Oh wait, gotta work overtime because I racked up the credit card and da 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 da. And they're just jailed,
worked up with this. And then like there was this saying which I don't like. They say, if it's not broken, don't fix it. Okay, but you can improve it.
Right.
If it's not broken, okay, improve it. Mm-hmm. You're sitting on the beautiful couch, amazing screen TV with good internet, exploring the world, watching all the things. Okay, good. So just get out. So look, I'm comfortable here. I can see the world from a big screen. Yeah, you can. But it's a different experience when you go into different country, like watching Super Bowl rather than being in the game. I mean,
totally different.
You won't miss anything. You will see the entire thing maybe a couple of times, rewind from your TV. But it's a different experience when you actually be exposed to your environment, to a different environment.
I wonder if it'll change, if attitudes in the U.S. will change after COVID-19 has gone away, whatever it's going to do, right? Because think about what you just said, luxurious jail, and now we're being told hey, you have to stay inside. And it's still the same spot where we would hole up all the time, but now it's when you're being told you can't leave, you want what you can't have. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I wonder if they'll do what? Say it again.
It's always like that. If before age 21, don't drink. You're not allowed to drink. Like, oh, what he said, I want to drink. You know, and when you turn 21, 22, it's a drink. Who cares?
Right.
You know?
That's so true. Yeah. Travel has it's a big part of gaining perspective, I think. I love that. As I told you, I tell people that saying that you told me. Of course, I can't say it in Farsi yet, but about the, I'm going to take this glass and I'll see if there's any whales in the ocean. You put the glass in the water, and you look in your glass and you look at the water, you go, no whales. And that's because you only know what you know. You have to go out and explore.
That's your source of information. You have to explore it, expand it.
Yeah, I love that so much. Okay, so what else stuck out to you as different when you were here?
Well, there is like people perspective, right? What we think Iran looks like, what we think America looks like, before all this, before internet, like when I came over there 16 years ago. So before I come to US, I told my friends, hey guys, I'm going to US, I'm going to Texas, Dallas. Like, oh, you're gonna be a cowboy? You haven't been riding your horse and putting your gun? And I'm like, no. They're like, what do you mean? Like, well, they have cars over there. They're like, really? They have cars? I said, yeah. Wow. And so like that was my friend thought of Texas. So when I came to Texas, when I after a few months, I made a friend, and like he took me to his ranch with his dad. I'm like making barbecue, and he took me like around the ranch, and he was introducing me to his horses. He's like, my horse's name is this, that, beautiful horse from there. I said, oh, that's nice. And he was like, so what's your camel's name? I was like, what do you mean what's my camel's name? Like, well, we got horses, you guys must have camels. I'm like, no, we have cars. I'm sure there are camels in Iran, but I've never seen it. I was growing in the city. And I was like, the first time I saw a camel was at Dallas Zoo. And that was it, It's because people didn't know, It's
right.
And they don't know, like, we snow ski a good 4 months of the year.
I had no idea. Yeah, I didn't know that until you posted your ski pictures, and I was like, what? So I think that's what's cool about, even if you don't travel, about just getting to know someone who has a different upbringing than yours. When you lead with curiosity and you talk with them, and those funny differences come out, those are moments you would totally miss if you were not talking with them and not being curious, and you were just, doing your regular routine of work and then gym and home and repeat.
You have to expand your networking, your friendship, your like different kind of people. Just explore and have an open mind, right?
Yeah.
So I'm very restrict about. I'm very pushy about open minded, right? I really want to be open minded. Let me give you an example of what I mean by open mind. So when I was started growing gray hair, I was like, I don't want to have gray hair. So I went to plug it. But what they say, if you plug a gray hair, 3 more comes out, right?
Right.
Here in Iran, in US, in Europe, they all say.
What? Are you serious?
Everywhere. Yes.
Oh.
Don't do it. My grandma was, don't do it. And I was like, okay, let me look it up, right? Let me YouTube it, search it. We have the biggest library in our hand.
Right.
Just Google it. So I looked it up. It was not one source who would say if you plug it, 3 more would come out. They're like, no, it's one pigment. You plug it, and that's it. The same one grows out, and eventually in 6 months, it might be 3 more because you're aging, and that's about it. So I'm plugging it, So me saying open mind, that's what I mean. Just don't accept whatever everybody say. Maybe they're true, maybe they're right, maybe they're not. But just do your own research as well. You never know.
I love that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you always say push the boundaries, which you are if I was to look up, let's see, in the dictionary, push boundaries, there would be your face right there. But it's such a great quality, because even at 17, you pushed the boundaries, came to the US, and then you push the boundaries to write a letter basically to your supervisor to be like, hey, can I come be a cashier? So I just think that more people need to like adapt those qualities, because they really are missing out on so many treasures of like how, you know, how Garrett and I know you, you know, like that was kind of random, and how we ended up staying in touch. And it's just, there's so much joy and treasure to be had there, which is why I hope people will be in general more curious, but especially different cultures, I think there's just something so beautiful about that.
There's so many cultures out there, right? They all have good and negative, positive and negative, you know, just for them to just go explore it, you know. I always say two things: push the boundaries and be consistent. That's it. You don't need anything else. Don't push the boundaries so much, you know, just a little, just enough to be on the legal side. You know, but just push it a little bit and just be consistent. Do it every day, you know, and do it every day, and you will. I was gonna add to this, like in Iran, when people, they have to get visa and they can't travel. They're like 3-4 countries around Iran that they can't travel, and that's about it. You cannot travel, and it's really, really, really hard for everyone to travel. But Americans easily can push the boundaries just a little bit, goes so far, you know. And I want them to know this. I want to open their eyes, like, look what you got. Enjoy this tool, you know. Enjoy while you have it.
Well, I think they'll be inspired just by listening to your perspective and hearing your funny stories. What's something you want American people to know about people in Iran? Either something that's misunderstood or just something you want them to know.
Like, aside on the governments, you know, I don't care about my government, American government, you know, none of that really matters. What matters is me and you. That's all that matters, you know. And we get along really, really good. You know, people get along if you put the things that it's been brainwashed, you know, since by like governments or whoever, you know, we were like growing up. If you put that aside, we like each other. We love each other. We like to enjoy talk, you know. And then, like Iranians, I mean, as you can see, I love to talk, right? We all like to talk. We all, you know, enjoy the parties, and then we love it. Yeah, we love to share it. We love to have gatherings, big gatherings. That's why the coronavirus said, explore in Iran. Like, don't hang out together, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, it's okay, you know, just come hang out and we can have some tea, you know, together, and, you know, and just have some good time, you know. But in America, it's not as friendly as like this, you know. It's more personal. It's like, you know, I don't want to, you know, like talk to you for more than a few minutes. But I want everybody to know that, like, we love to have parties. We love to have you guys here, you know, explore. There's so many beautiful places here, and we do get along perfectly fine.
That's awesome. I don't think I could end it in any better way. This was so great, Sohrab. Thank you. So if people want to keep in touch with you on social media, how can they do that?
Well, my Instagram is Sohrab _Tavakoli _STO. First name, last name, and STO, right? So I can write it. You know it. You know how to spell it. SOHRAB _TAVAKOLI _SCO.
Awesome. Well, that's a wrap. Thanks, Sohrab. I'll be talking with you again soon.
Thank you so much.
You're awesome.
Absolutely. Thank you. It was not nice talking to you guys.
Bye.